Hi guys, this is lesson 99. It's called Solving Rational Equations. A rational equation is an equation with at least one rational expression. If you will remember from a few lessons ago, a rational expression is a fraction with at least one variable in the denominator. So there are two ways to solve rational expressions. We can use cross products, and we can also use the LCD. LCD stands for least common denominator. We're also going to talk about something called extraneous solutions. When you hear the word extraneous, you should see extra in there. So these are extra solutions, or solutions that don't satisfy the original equation. They make a denominator in the original equation equal to 0. And remember, you can't divide by 0, so that would make your answer undefined, which is not okay. So if something is proportional, that means one fraction, like a over b, is equal to another fraction, like c over d. We can solve that using cross products. So cross products means we multiply across the fraction. So this would be b times c, and that would equal, if we did the other side, a times d. So that is using cross products. So let's take a look at these two examples. Notice they're both one fraction is equal to another fraction. So we're going to solve these using cross products. So here I have x times 2, so I write that as 2x. And here I have 5 times 2x plus 4. All right, what's the first thing I do to solve for x? Well, I'm going to distribute my 5. So I get 2x equals 10x plus 20. Subtract 10x from both sides, and I get negative 8x equals 20. Divide both sides by negative 8. So x equals, 4 goes into both of these. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 8 divided by 4 is 2. It's negative. Or I could write negative 2.5. That would be the same thing. All right, same thing on number 2. I have x times x minus 2, and I'm setting that equal to 3 times 5, which is 15. Distribute the x. I get x squared minus 2x equals 15. All right, what's the one thing that should be standing out to you right now? Well, it's this x squared, which means that this is a quadratic function. Anytime you see quadratic functions, you're going to think, oh, factoring. So how do I factor this? Well, first I have to get it into standard form. So I need to set it equal to 0. How am I going to do that? I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. So I get x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. All right, I need to factor. So I have x times x will get me x squared. How do I make 15? 5 and 3. I want my 2 to be negative, so it's going to be minus 5 plus 3. All right, this is equal to 0. So how do I get my solutions from here? Well, I have one set of parentheses will get me one solution, and the other set of parentheses will get me the other solution. So I'm going to take that first set of parentheses, x minus 5, set it equal to 0, and solve. So x equals 5. Take my other set of parentheses, set it equal to 0, and solve. And so I get x equals negative 3. So this one had two solutions because it was a quadratic. All right, if a rational equation includes a sum or a difference, we are first going to find the LCD of all the terms to help us solve. The reason that we find the LCD, or least common denominator, is to get rid of all the fractions. And then we're going to solve it just like normal. So these look a little ugly at first, but I promise you can do it. All right, so notice I have one fraction and I'm adding it to another fraction, right? So when I see that, I'm going to use the least common denominator. So 6 has a denominator of 1, right? So what is the least common denominator between x, 3x, and 1? Well, it would be 3x. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase that so I have room to do this. Oops, sorry, my eraser's really tiny. Okay, so what I'm going to do is multiply all of the fractions by 3x over 1. All right, so if I multiply everything by 3x over 1, here's what I get. All right, I have 9 times 3x over 3x, and I'm adding 15 times 3x over x. And that's equal to 6 times 3x over 1. All right, the reason I didn't multiply things first is because I want to cancel to make my life easier. So the 3's cancel and the x's cancel. And the x's cancel here, and nothing cancels on my other side of the equation. So I am left with 9 plus 15 equals 18x. 9 plus 15 is 24 equals 18x. How do I solve for x? Divide both sides by 18. 6 goes into both of those. 24 divided by 6 is 4. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So x equals 4 over 3. Okay, and hopefully you're looking at me like I'm a crazy person right now because I totally forgot a step. All right, I forgot to do 15 times 3 here. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. So 15 times 3 is 45. Let's try this again. I hope you caught my mistake. 45 plus 9 is 54 equals 18x. There we go. That will be a prettier number. All right. 6 goes into both of these. So I'm left with, what, 9 over 3? Which is actually equal to 3, right? 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I get 3 equals x. All right. Let's try another one. Okay, now I'm going to have an even uglier least common denominator. So my current denominators are x plus 1, and 3x. All right, so x plus 1 kind of comes as like a one term, right? So I have to have an x plus 1 in my denominator and a 3 in my denominator. And then notice the x's are the same, so I only need to use one of those ones, right? So my least common denominator is 3x times x plus 1. All right, super ugly, but we can do it. So we're going to multiply all three of these fractions here by 3x times x plus 1 over 1. We're going to multiply this one by 3x times x plus 1 over 1. And we're going to multiply this one by 3x times x plus 1 over 1. All right. I'm not going to multiply through yet because I want to make my life as easy as I can. So I have 12 times 3x times x plus 1 over x. My original equation was addition here. So plus 15 times 3x times x plus 1 over x plus 1. And that's equal to 72 times 3x times x plus 1 over 3x. All right, go through and cancel what we can cancel. So my x's can cancel, my x plus 1's can cancel, and my x's can cancel. All right, now I'm going to multiply correctly this time. So 12 times 3 is 36 times x plus 1 plus 15 times 3 is 45x. And that equals 72 times 3 is 216 times x plus 1. All right, I'm going to distribute everything. Oh no, look, I did it again, guys. I canceled that 3x. I should not be making this video right now. This whole thing canceled. So instead of 216, it is just regular old 72. All right, 36x plus 36 plus 45x equals 72x plus 72. All right, combine like terms, 36x plus 45x. I'm going to do it over here because mental math is not working for me today. 81, so I get 81x plus 36 equals 72x plus 72. All right, I'm going to do two things at once here. I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides, and I'm going to subtract 72x from both sides, just because I'm running out of room. These cancel. All right, 81 minus 72, 11 minus 2 is 9x, equals 72 minus 36 is 36. Oops, what's happening? 36. Divide by 9, so x equals 4. Oh boy, that was a lot of work, but hopefully you followed along with that. All right, let's try another one. This one, again, pretty ugly, but you'll be okay. All right, this one, if we notice, it's proportional. Two fractions set equal to each other. So we're going to multiply 2x minus 4 times x plus 3. And we're going to multiply 3x minus 1 times x minus 2. All right, this is FOIL, so you have 4 things you should be left with here. 2x squared plus 6x minus 4x minus 12. And again, FOIL this one. We should have 3x squared minus 6x minus x plus 2. Watch your signs. All right, I need to combine like terms. So I get 2x squared plus 2x minus 12 equals 3x squared minus 5x plus, nope, it's not 12, plus 2. All right, the x squared should be cluing you into the fact that it's a quadratic. So I'm going to get all of these terms over to the other side. Subtract 2x from both sides. The opposite of subtracting 12 is adding 12. So these 3 things cancel, and I'm left with 0 equals x squared minus 7x plus 14. Hey, look at that. I messed up again. Negative 6x minus x. I'm so sorry, guys. Negative 6x minus x is indeed negative 7x, not negative 5x. All right, negative 7x minus 2x is negative 9x. That works better. Okay, so can we factor this? Why, yes, we can. 2 factor pairs. X times x gets us x squared. 14 is 7 and 2, right? 7 plus 2 is 9. We want negative 9, so they're both going to be negatives. All right, I ran out of room over there, so I'm going to set my first parenthesis equal to 0 and my second parenthesis equal to 0. Add 7 to both sides, x equals 7. Add 2 to both sides, x equals 2. Okay, something that we should be checking for that we haven't done yet is if we have any extraneous solutions. So right now I think that x is equal to 7 and x is equal to 2. So let's plug those in to our original problem and see what we get. So I have 3 times 7 minus 1 over 7 plus 3 should be equal to 2 times 7 minus 4 over 7 minus 2. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 minus 1 is 20 over 10. 14 minus 4 is 10 over 5. Well, 20 over 10 is 2. 10 over 5 is 2. So x equals 7, that one works. All right, let's do the other one. If I have 3 times 2 minus 1 over 2 plus 3, that should equal 2 times 2 minus 4 over 2 minus 2. All right, you should be clued into something that's wrong right here, okay? So 6 minus 1 is 5 over 5, and 4 minus 4 is 0 over 2 minus 2 is 0. 5 over 5 is 1, but 0 over 0 is 0, right? 0 doesn't go into itself ever. That's not equal, okay? So that one does not work. So if you were writing your solution on a test for this, make sure that you get rid of 2 because it's an extraneous solution. All right, the last one is kind of weird. It's a story problem, and I just wanted you to see how to do these because when we go back to school in May, these will probably come up on a test at least one time. So it says it takes Trey 8 hours to mow the pasture. It takes John 10 hours to mow the same pasture. How long will it take them if they work together? So Trey takes 8 hours. So 8 hours to mow the whole thing means that it takes that he can do 1/8 of the pasture per hour. All right, John takes 10 hours to do the whole thing, so he can mow 1/10 of the pasture per hour. So if I were to write that as an equation, I would have 1/8 times h, look here, plus 1/10 times h is equal to 1. 1 being like the whole pasture. So my least common denominator is 80, all right, because 8 times 10 is 80, right? So I'm going to multiply all of these by 80 over 1. When I do that, I get 80 over 1 times 1 over 8 is 10h, plus 80 over 1 times 1 over 10 is 8h equals 80. So 18h equals 80. To solve for h, I divide by 18. So 80 divided by 18. So I'm going to reduce that first to make my life easier. If we divide them both by 2, we get 40 over 9, right? So 40 over 9. 9 goes into 40 4 times. Minus 36 is 4. So if they mow the pasture together, it will only take them 4 4/9 of an hour. All right, there are additional practice problems for this lesson on page 666 if you want to look at the practice set or lesson practice. Please let me know if you have any questions. Sorry I made so many mistakes in that video. Thank you for following along.